We've gotten to a point in society where we're not willing to help one another out. And I don't want to be like that.
My name is Nathaniel, and this is the Motorcycle Archives.
It's called The People's Build. I had like this idea maybe 6 months ago of building a bike where like subscribers decide on how to build it. Like I'll post a question within the video that like I'm working on this hoop, but the next question that I'll be posting is if I want to do a mono shock or if we're going to keep a dual shock. So then people will leave a comment, and then whatever they decide is what I'll do. Growing up, I wanted to be a cop. I was applying to places in my early 20s, and during that time, it was like pretty difficult to get into law enforcement. Eventually, I got in with Santa Clara County Sheriff's Office, which is just right down the road. Worked the jails for 3 years, and then I did patrol. Yeah, I was on the riot control team there too. We were there during the George Floyd, which is terrible. Man, honestly, it was such a wild time. I don't think there was like a day where I didn't have like a camera in my face. I have like such mad respect for law enforcement. It takes truly a particular person to do that job, and to like not grow bitter at the end of the day is like so difficult. You know, seeing the dead bodies, or you know, the rape cases, or like the heinous crimes, and you know, you did CPR on like on a person, they don't live like that. It's hard not to carry that kind of stuff home. Thinking about it on my days off, and as much as I say like maybe I'm fine or something, but it does affect you. So I kind of just came to a conclusion, like, am I made for this? Like, is this like what I want to do for the rest of my life? I think like something deep down in me like knew it wasn't. I needed to do something else. I started working on motorcycles towards the end of law enforcement. So like not a ton of experience in motorcycles, but I always like think that if you want to learn to do something, you just have to learn by doing. So picked up the bike, and then I picked up a little welder. I started like doing some sheet metal work, just started working on it. I love videography and I love photography. I'm like, yeah, let's start recording. And then I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with work. And then all of a sudden I'm flipping motorcycles like full time. It was insane. I was like driving everywhere. I was driving to like freaking Modesto, to Stockton, to Reading, and then back home with like 3-4 motorcycles. But I always tend to just go back to like these bikes, like the older bikes, like going back to them, tinkering with them.
Yeah, I feel like this will never go out of style.
It's funny because like my coworkers found out I had a YouTube channel, and they're like, who are you? At work, you're like a little bit quieter and maybe not as like energetic. I'm like, I don't know, because like I'm working, I have to work for the man. Working on motorcycles, like I'm in my own little world. So everything is just always like super responsive, super nice, super polite.
That's good, man. It's been the same experience for me too. I mean, there's a reason why they watch your videos, you know? Yeah. They appreciate your personality and stuff. I feel like you got good energy like on there too. I feel like in a way it builds like a little community online, you know what I mean? Is this exciting?
Yeah, sometimes. Been married for like 10 years. Like our marriage has been like really great. Like we've never had like any issues or anything. Of course, like you go through like all the fights, and I don't know, try to respect each other and respect each other's opinions. And I've tried teaching her how to ride. We did not have a successful day. She wasn't super stoked about it anyways. She didn't really want to learn, and I'm like, no, you should try to learn. But like, she's always like super supportive like of my hobbies, and like of motorcycle building. She's always like, you know, like right now I'm working on the hoop, and I think I cut it too short. So I called her out, and I'm like, hey, like, what do you think? Like, you know, if I extend it out, do you think like it makes more sense? So she's always been involved. I named the bike after her.
That's cool, dude. That's awesome.
Super supportive.
Yeah.
Probably too much.
Nah, dude, you need that.
Yeah, definitely.
You need that person in your corner, you know?
When I rode this Honda CB750, I cried. Legit, like legit tears, like screaming in my helmet. I was so joyful and so happy that like I was able to like build this and, you know, have it run really well. And I feel like I have a connection. For modern bikes, I feel like I don't get that feeling as much.
It's like most new bikes, you just press a button and it turns on. You're never gonna get stranded. You're never gonna have any issues aside from like, oh, I gotta maybe lube the chain or charge the battery, you know what I mean?
Right.
Maybe that brings you closer to your bikes.
Now reflecting on it and kind of thinking back, I think the ultimate goal is just to help people out, be able to build motorcycles for people for very cheap, or do something in community that actually helps people. We've gotten to a point in society where we're not willing to help one another out. And I don't want to be like that. I want to be able to help my neighbor and get to know them and be there for them. And I want to be able to help my community thrive. I don't know what that means for motorcycles. I have no clue. And I'm a religious person. I go to church and devout Christian, and I truly believe that I have the ability to help people with this somehow.
As somebody who's viewing your channel right now, I see that already, even just with the community build, right from the jump. It's like you want to engage with those people, and I feel like we've grown to a place where people are so like individualistic and kind of go do your thing over there, and you work, you sit in traffic, you go home, spend time with your little group, like your little family, and then you do the same thing every day, and maybe you get together on the weekends. But I feel like that's backwards. Like, we're here to be with each other, and
it's so hard to do life on your own. You need that community to be there to support you. In order to produce this kind of friendship and family, you have to put yourself out there, or you have to be comfortable with vulnerability. Show people that, hey, I'm not perfect. I want to have this community, and then hopefully people will be vulnerable towards you, and you can have those deeper conversations.